Dr. Murian. Next speaker will be Dr. Isao Teshirogi. Dr. Isao Teshirogi is the president of the Federation of Pharmaceutical Manufacturers Associations of Japan, vice president of the Japan Pharmaceutical Manufacturers Association, JPMA. Dr. Teshirogi has been president and CEO of Shionogi and Company Limited since April 2008, and a member of the board of directors since June 2002. He joined the company in 1982 after graduating from the University of Tokyo. Dr. Teshirogi has served as vice president of the JPMA since 2014 after having served as president of the association for 3 years, during which time he launched the Asia-Pacific Pharma Congress, APAC, to support the development of the pharmaceutical industry across Asia, promoting collaboration in drug discovery and harmonization of pharmaceutical regulations. He has also shown his commitment to the goal of eliminating infectious diseases, including neglected tropical diseases, which can develop into global threats, through his support of the establishment of the Global Health Innovative Technology GHIT Fund as a charter member, in partnership with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. He has been vice president of International Federation of Pharmaceuticals and Associations since 2016, and today he will talk about open innovation strategies through industry, academia, alliance partnerships. Please, Dr. Teshirogi.
Thank you, Dr. Watanabe, for the great introduction. And it is a great honor to be here to speak for as an almost representation from industry. So I'll try to somewhat defend what industry is criticized. So hopefully we have the very good discussion after this session. So, well, just about the JPMA, it's the New Drug Development Company organization established 50 years ago. This is our 50th anniversary. We published the so-called new vision, JPMA Industry Vision 2025, 3 years ago. And this vision was very different from the previous version, and particularly with the R&D environment. We would like to appreciate the new technology and new science. And very specifically, we just spell out R&D to go beyond the lab, which really the importance of the open innovation for the industry. Needless to say, we have a very high pride as a pharmaceutical company in contributing to not only for the human health, but the global economy as well. So innovative new drugs clearly leads into economic growth. Of course, the investment in R&D is a major part of the pharmaceutical company, not only for the sake of each company, but as Pierre said, we are the big contributor to the global fund like IMI. And in advancing the science, we think we are a big part of the realization of a healthy, long life society. So we really want to continue that. We have a lot of issues, however. In terms of the new drug, the U.S. has been dominating the scene not only for the 2016, but the last 10, 20 years, unchanged. Japan is the number 2 in 2016, but in all fairness, Japan, Switzerland, UK, Germany were the so-called 4 countries that keep producing the new compounds, and the U.S. is the 50% or more. And more interestingly, in the right-hand side, the origin of the new drugs in the United States, and close to 60% of the NCEs, new chemical entities, or new medicines, just are born from the good collaboration with the university or biotech companies, while Japan, UK, or the rest of the world still not there. Not easy to change, compare the apple versus orange, but I think Japan, UK, Germany, European organization really needs to learn what the difference is and what we can learn from the US to facilitate the more open innovation. I think it's a good challenge for the industry to really learn. Just a recap for the drug development. Obviously, it's a long process, 9 to 17 years, close to $1 billion for development, and probability of success varies, but we're still talking about 1 out of the 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 anyway. And as Dr. Fitzgerald said, up to a clinical stage, still 1 out of 10,000, and after that hurdle is carried forward, we're still talking about the probability of success 1/3, and the majority of that, or the most failure comes from phase 2 stage. Let me talk briefly about the difference of the IP in the pharmaceutical industry. The left-hand side, the right-hand side from you, is the automobiles or electronics. They exchange IPs with each other to create the one product, while the pharmaceuticals basic patent contribution is so big. And that really tells us the importance of IP in the business. As again, Dr. Fitzgerald said, if we want to change the system of the pricing, the business model of all those pharmaceutical things, we really have to recognize how big this one intellectual property means for the pharmaceutical company, and therefore we may want to talk about changing the IP system to help the pricing as well as a sustainable pharmaceutical business for future. Because the development requires a long time and high cost, the problem is the so-called practical lifetime of IP. Sometimes only 3 to 5 years after the approval is obtained, and then sometimes there could be up to 5 years extension, but still we're talking about only 8 to 10 years, which really have to collect all investment from pharmaceutical companies' perspective. So again, the importance of a patent, the process of R&D takes long and a lot of money, really puts us in the challenges. So ends up with somewhat the decrease of the approval medicines. In return, on the contrast, the really high R&D spend per medicine. It's very natural because the science is advancing day-to-day basis. So we know 1 or 2 or 3 new things every day, and that puts the more pressure on the regulatory side as well. So to understand the IP system development, scheme, and the result of the last several years really forces the pharmaceutical companies to rethink what we really should do for future. And that's, in summary, we're hitting the wall, clearly. And target is getting, narrower and narrower. Hypertension, for example, a lot of patients suffer from that, but nowadays we have so many good antihypertensive medicines. We do not need, very many new hypertension drugs. But, we're talking about the rare disease, we're talking about the very difficult disease to tackle, such as the Alzheimer's disease. Even we do not know the cause of the disease very clearly, and we have to fight against that. And small molecule clearly has the more and more difficulties. Now biologics, including the antibodies, the peptide, and nucleotide, each has its own issue. And gene therapy, regenerative therapy are still new. We really need to learn more from the actual experiences. So a target modality are getting harder and harder, plus the regulatory requirement, which we totally understand. Again, the new science really puts more pressure on the regulatory side because now we know many things which we don't know 10 years ago. So best modalities, best targets, and very hard the regulatory environment. Again, entire industry for the human being requires the business model change. So pharmaceutical companies like to go with the open innovation with the very clear cause. Pharmaceutical companies very honestly cannot afford to put a lot of emphasis on the basic research anymore. We're so almost swamped by the fact that we put almost resources on the drug development. So we have to depend on the harvest from the academia, universities, and government organization for the basic science side. Again, for the human being perspective, I don't think it is realistic to each party do both. We as a pharmaceutical company would like basic research side to really concentrate on the basic research, and the pharma should sharpen up what we're very strong with, which is the drug development. So we have to identify where the strength and weakness is, all fairness, and then have each party to concentrate on what we should do. So those are the examples the Japanese pharmaceutical companies to do some open innovation trials. These are the fund by each pharmaceutical companies to support the academia as well as the venture companies. And some examples were physically moving into university. Kyoto University has the big new facility, and 5 companies occupies each floor, and person from the Kyoto University and each person from each company put together the resources and see what happens. So the importance is the sharing goals and concept, and more importantly, we really need to cross-talk and just create the persons to understand each party's differences. AMED, like Dr. Suematsu briefly mentioned about the trying for the similar thing like gap-free, and I think here industry, IMIs and gap-free, I think everybody is so interested in, but as of today, we need to learn more on how we could do things better. So these are the last 2 pages I just want to mention from the company perspective or industry perspective. I think academia may see the different things, but this is what we're seeing. What we're asking is academia should learn more about what the drug development really means. Sometimes we are shown the very interesting data, very hard to reproduce result, so-called champion data. Sometimes academia would like to publish the result to the open journals and can't get the IP. As we all know, the strength of IP really determines the business model, so we really need to get the very strong IP, so the publication versus the IP sometimes conflict. And go, no-go decision is the critical thing for the pharmaceutical industry, but sometimes academia is not willing to do that. Again, I'm not criticizing. I really would like to propose we're very different, and therefore we need to learn. Again, more importantly, we need to create the people to understand with each other's need. Pharmaceutical, very famous for the not invented here syndrome. So many people are so appreciate what they're doing internally and do not use the same measures, scales to the works for the academia, which really, creates the huge complaints from the academia venture companies side. all those things, and sometimes the, like Seimatsu Sensei's government thing, is same thing. Sometimes headquarters really intervenes what the research side is doing. Sometimes research folks would like to continue the collaboration with academia. Headquarters doesn't understand the meaning of that, and they really cut the line. So all those things are almost discussed from old time, but we really didn't get the clear solution yet. So I just want to propose one more time the necessity of the understanding with each other, and more importantly, again, creating the people to understand both is so crucial. So this is the last slide of mine. Again, human being cannot afford to waste more time. So each person should concentrate on what they should do or what they are good at. So this is examples. I just want AMED to support more strong basic science, and applied science can be funded and even find a way to get money from the market. But the basic science, clearly saying pharmaceutical companies are doing less and less. Academia, there are many things the pharmaceutical companies, almost jump on the targets which could have the bigger sales. But, academia really understands the medical needs, which pharmaceutical companies sometimes don't get access. So I think, academia would like to understand what academia is holding, clearly differentiating the assets from pharmaceutical companies, the assets. So I just want to reiterate the very important presence of academia, but have them concentrate on what they are so good at. And pharmaceutical companies, one of the things that we really can offer is providing the place for academia to learn. For example, the IT systems, new cell therapy or regenerative therapy versus the somewhat traditional pharmacology. So I think if pharmaceutical companies can provide this space or opportunity for even academia to interact with each other. So those are the things I just want to emphasize one more time. Some academia clearly came to my company and said, okay, because you really don't like our project, so I made a decision to create almost a mini pharmaceutical companies under the university. Sorry, from my perspective, it's a waste of time. So let's talk, and let's separate what each party is so good at, and concentrate on the speed to the market, speed to the patients, to save the society. Again, no one size fits all, so we need to learn with each other, and we need to create the people to understand both cultures very well. Thank you for the attention.
Thank you, Dr. Teshirogi.